What is up, Algebra 1? So, you need to remember how to simplify radicals. This is one of the most important skills for the quadratic formula. Let's get a refresher. So our first radical is the square root of 20. Now the first thing you'll notice, if I pull up Desmos and type in the square root of 20, the square root of 20, you'll notice I get this gross nasty decimal, and we can't have a irrational number, a decimal that goes on and on forever. So I need to simplify this. So the best way to simplify is to figure out what can we split the square root of 20 into. So off to the side, I'm going to write the square root of 20. And let's figure out what we can split this into. We want to split it into two square roots, and one of our square roots, let's say it's this first one, we need this to be a perfect square. Now here's a list of all our perfect squares. So let's find the largest perfect square we can divide 20 by evenly. Now, it's never going to be a number bigger than 25, okay? It's never going to be a number bigger than 20, sorry. So that means we have to check 1, 4, 9, 16. We can never divide a number evenly by a number larger. So we need to check 4 numbers, and I'm going to start with my biggest number. So let's try to divide 20 by 16. So if I pull up Desmos, and I try to divide 20 by 16, 20 divided by 16, I get a decimal, so that's no good. I'll try the next one. Divided by 9, I get a decimal, no good. Let's try dividing it by 4, and that works. That means 20 can split up into 4 times 5. So in these square roots, I'm going to write a 4 and a 5. Now 5 is not a perfect square, and it can't be divided by 4. It can be divided by 1, but that won't do us any good. The square root of 4 is 2. So I'm going to simplify this into 2 times the square root of 5. And this is a simplified radical. Done. Okay, let's try number 2. Okay, I'm going to write the square root of 48. And I need to figure out what can I simplify, or what can I divide 48 by. So let's restart our list. So 48 can't be divided by any numbers bigger than 48. So I need to check 36, 25, 16, 9, and 4, and figure out what's the largest perfect square I can divide 48 by. So I'm going to pull up Desmos. I'm going to change this to 48 divided by. Let's try 36. 36 does not work. It's a repeating decimal. 25 does not work. It's a decimal. 16 works perfectly. 16 times 3 is 48. So I'm going to add a 16 and a 3. Square root of 16. Square root of 3. The square root of 16 is 4. So I'm going to change this into a regular old 4. The square root of 3 can't be divided by anything, so I leave it. And this is simplified. Done. One more. Let's try the square root of 192. Okay, the square root of 192. Let's figure out what we can split it into. It can't be a number bigger than 192. So that means I need to check 169 all the way down to 4 until I find the largest one that works. And I'm always starting at the bottom of my list. So we got 196 is my number, or sorry, 192. And I start dividing. By 169, nope. 144, nope. 121, doesn't work. 100, nope. 81, nope. 64, there we go. 192 can be divided by 64 into 3. So 64 times 3 is what it splits up into. 64, 64 and 3. The square root of 64 is 8. So this is going to become 8 square root of 3. Done. And that is how you simplify square roots. Split it into a perfect square times another number, and then simplify your perfect square. All right, Algebra 1, I'll see you later.